The Cardinals almost blew that opportunity.
They almost did.
The Cardinals were very close to blowing that opportunity. But I think they remembered once they got up like 28-0 or something.
They got the eye on the prize. And they said, we want Caleb Williams more than the Giants need Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be the team that won too many games and then had to sign Daniel Jones after he got cut by the Giants when they drafted Caleb Williams.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about sports. Let's get into week 2 in the books. Well, mainly in the books.
Yeah.
Besides the Monday night games. We haven't watched those yet. We do this on Sunday. They haven't happened. Forgive us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a break.
Sunday night football just ended, so.
Yeah. We at least got through that for you.
Mm-hmm. It was quite the game where you knew the Patriots just weren't going to do enough.
Yeah, brutal way to end. That final play was so awesome.
Yeah.
Strange, I tell you. Very strange.
I'm talking with Dante.
But
yeah, that one was a heartbreaker if you're a Patriots fan. I'm not a Patriots fan, so my heart wasn't broken at all for them. I did want them to win.
Yeah.
The hater in me wanted them to win.
Yeah, because the Dolphins are scarier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I fear the Dolphins later in the season. I don't fear the Patriots. Like
just because of seeding potential later in the season.
Yeah.
I
Chiefs already have a loss, you know. I mean, Dolphins need to get one at least.
At least.
It'll come. The
their defense look bad.
That good.
Yeah. Once they play a really good offense. And a decent defense. Because the Chargers lost to the Titans, so we know that last week. Like, Chargers are trash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are we starting? Where are we gonna start? You're gonna do?
Let's get right into our Chiefs.
Hey baby.
Chiefs Jags.
Hey baby.
A game that we definitely should not have won.
No, not with that many turnovers, not with that many penalties. Our defense won us that game handedly. Like handed, but it was our defense by far that won us that game.
Yeah,
not our offense.
No, our offense was asleep out there.
Yeah,
for the second week in a row.
And it looked again like Mahomes was the only one who could do anything right. Like,
yeah. There was a couple times when he just made big boy plays that he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this over, and I'm gonna make sure that we don't lose this game.
He is usually a lot more like willing to slide and just go down. He was not.
No.
He was like, no, I have to get every yard I can because look at the guys around me. My offensive lineman is about to false start again. And because the league like had to crack down on it now, of course, right? Juwan Taylor lines up incorrectly and false starts for 4 years with the Jaguars. No one bats an eye. One game with the Chiefs, losing their minds out there. It's like,
well, in their defense, with the Jaguars, they're like, it's not going to hurt anybody at all. Then with the Chiefs, they're like, this could become a significant thing.
I mean, that's why we got the guy. We were like, oh shit, they allow him to just line up like that and false start every time. Cool, let's have that. And then we paid him a bunch of money, and now we don't get it. Chris Collinsworth had to run his damn mouth.
That's kind of dirty pool because the agreement is that the sideline referee lets you know if you're lining up too far back.
Right.
And if he's not going to say anything or establish where that line is for Juwan Taylor, then like you can't throw the flag. If the ref had already said something to him, that's one thing.
But I want to say, I mean, they started calling it early on in this game, at least.
Yeah.
So you would think that he would have had it figured out, and I guess kind of by the end of the game he did. Not really. He was still.
Yeah, there at the
But-
end of the game, they called him for an illegal formation.
Elite,
it-
yeah.
And in the very next play, he lined up the exact same way and
I think
didn't
he-
get called for
I think
shit.
he scooted up a little bit.
Maybe a half an inch. But I was like, dude, like that is the same spot.
Yeah, I know. I
It
don't
was
get
not
it.
a significant. There was not a consistency on the way they called it. I'm not. Hopefully, he'll go in and watch tape and not do this again. Because it did seem like it
They're-
caught him off guard.
They're gonna have to do
I'll be
something.
interested
though.
to see how many other right tackles, left tackles got called for this weekend. I bet it's 0.
Yeah, we can. Somebody smarter than us will have to do a good breakdown of that and see how
Yeah.
many And not as many people were paying attention to it this week because it was a noon game. It is us against the Jaguars, who are at least decent, pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is a 1 week thing.
It's not. You have to make the adjustments. Taylor's. Gonna
I
have
feel
to make
like
the
that's
adjustments or else.
it's gonna be hard for to break that habit. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking
This is
about.
what you do
I'm
every
talking
week.
about on the officiating
Oh, right.
side of it.
No, they're not.
Like Chris Collinsworth just couldn't shut his fucking mouth last week, and so the whole world was talking about it.
I know, right? The guy who
Yeah.
supposedly just sucks Patrick Mahomes' dick is, won't shut up about our right tackle lining up incorrectly, like he's done his entire career. And false starting, like he's done his entire career, and Lane Johnson has done, and many other tackles have done. But, anyways, you got to clean that up. That was sloppy. We just had a lot of sloppy play overall. Still,
Yeah.
Fumbles were a problem.
yeah.
Muffed punts.
Yeah, I don't like seeing the fumbles.
No, the muff punt was pretty bad. I think the sun was in his eyes. You could
Yeah,
tell,
that's what they
like,
were
it
saying
just-
on the radio too.
It just bounced off his face mask, like he was looking left. It hit him right to the right side of the
Yeah,
face
he clearly
mask.
thought that he was looking at the ball.
Yes. So I think peeps PS some camera issues there. Shaky cam. But yeah, I don't know. I'll let him have that one, right? Although apparently last year with the Giants he muffed a punt or two.
But when
Maybe
it
that's fine.
when it starts to look a little weird is when they're calling Jawan Taylor for a few inches here and there and letting a Jaguars receiver literally tackle Brian Cook.
What was that? What the fuck was that?
Oh,
Like
I
our
know.
defensive back
That's-
is getting tackled while the ball is still in the air, and they're just like,
Like that's borderline not even like that's right on the border of what is and what is not a football play.
right. Like
He was making no attempt to go for the ball. He was just jumping on our player.
does offensive pass interference even exist? Is that even a penalty you can call? Like,
Whenever
They-
it
they
benefits
called one earlier
the
today.
opponent of the Chiefs, they do.
yeah.
They called one in one of the games I was watching today. I just don't remember which one it was.
It can be insane. Their inconsistency with that call is insane, actually, because you see it all the time. You see the offense get away with shit the defense can never get away with when it comes to pass interference.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like it's a little ridiculous. A lot of time I kind of wish with pass interference, if you ever watch college football, they let those guys play a lot more than they do in the pros. Like in the pros, if you barely
do,
like
yeah.
if you barely like just caress the guy's shoulder while the ball is in the air, they're throwing that fucking flag on you. In
Yeah, I
college,
was-
they're not nearly as strict, and I wish they would be a little more lenient in the pros as they are in college.
Yeah, because
Just-
NCAA has just as much money in it as the NFL, maybe more.
Right. So I know it's an offensive league, but like let the guys play sometimes and let them get in coverage. Like if you don't want to be pass interfered with, get open, create some separation, or fight for the ball. Like I don't know.
I agree.
I
I agree, but I will say, there was definitely a few times when you thought the Chiefs could have lost this game.
Oh, dude, I was about to turn the game off when it was 3-0 Jags.
If the
Like,
Jaguars if the receivers could have known where the end zone ended, or if the end zone maybe would have gone 1 yard further back, they would have won this game
it was ugly
by a
Like
lot.
when we got the ball back, and I'm like, we just need to to have like a 4-minute drive, it didn't seem that possible.
No, it did
And then we
not.
didn't. And then our defense had to step up again. Like,
Yeah.
hey, at least our defense is really good. I'm glad that our defense is really good because I feel like we could at least get our offense figured out. Like, I trust Andy and Pat.
Yeah.
And then once Travis gets fully healthy, that they can maybe get some things figured out. Whereas with with their defense, you never know, right? If they start out ugly, you're like, is this going to get solved?
Yeah, I think that one positive thing was in the second half, Isaiah Pacheco they got the ball to him more often,
Man,
and he was effective with the
12
ball.
carries was not enough.
No,
he
but
had
that's why I'm saying in
one-
the that's probably 11 of those in the second half.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he had 1 carry in the first half.
Like, so that's encouraging for the second half that they got him involved.
And that was like the first play of the game because we always start the game with a run play.
Yeah.
We always do it.
Yep.
Every game. Think it's
Hey,
going to catch him off guard.
I will
It does
say
not.
that 3rd and short, we actually handed the ball off on, and we.
Oh, the fourth.
Oh, it was the
fourth.
4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've been what I've been complaining about, like, since last season is like, why in these short yardage situations are we trying to do this cute shit, give it to a backup fucking tight end, or have some fucking sweep, some like jet sweep play? No, just you've got the best interior line in the fucking league. Give it to Pacheco, who's a hard-nosed running back.
Yeah.
And look, it worked. What a shock. What a shock. You need 1 yard, give it to your running back who runs like he's angry at the ground, and let your great linemen up front push for you.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney looked better today.
A lot better.
There was a couple times when I was like, God, I kind of wish you would have dropped that one. One problem I have with Chiefs receivers as a whole, and I'm not picking on any one of them, picking on all of them, is all of them love to catch the ball at the first down marker and then lose the first down. And it drives me
MVS
insane.
Did that shit.
Yes. Every receiver on it's like, are they teaching them that? And
You're like,
can't,
look,
because they need to not teach them that.
right? And like, it's
Because it's bad.
I don't think any of y'all played with Tyreek Hill, so I don't know why you're trying to copy him.
Yeah.
And that was Tyreek. That was fine when Tyreek was doing it because you take that risk with him. None of you are that guy.
Because
No.
I see Kelsey doing it all the time, and Kelsey's got the correct instincts for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of you are Travis Kelsey either.
I
Like,
know.
only Travis Kelsey. And Travis kind of had a so-so day today, but he's coming off from that injury. He got a touchdown at least.
Yeah, he was coming off that injury, and you could tell his timing was thrown off, and
Kelsey
he would have
looked
had
his
two.
age- He looked his age today.
Yeah,
A little, yeah, he just looked a little slower.
But I
than before.
think-
he dropped.
I think we're going to get a
something
scary glimpse into the future this season.
I do think Travis Kelsey is going to play better than he did today. As we go
Oh,
on,
I
I
do
trust
too.
him to improve.
Yeah, I don't think Travis is done.
Yeah.
I don't
We,
know if
we
he's
also
even-
had 11 receivers with a catch today again.
Yeah, that's encouraging that he's getting the ball spread out.
but we just
Donovan
don't-
Smith caught one.
we just don't have anybody who he consistently goes to.
That's my thing. Like, I think that's part of the problem with this offense is it's too spread out.
Yeah.
Like Patrick has got to find like his number one.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if we don't know who the 1, 2, or 3 is.
No, because
I
I
mean,
mean, every
It's
week
great,
it's
but
something
sometimes
different.
the other team doesn't know either, but also like,
And we need some consistency
yeah, we
on
do.
offense.
He does look like
Sky Moore had a good day. Justin Watson did okay.
today he favored Kadarius with the 5 targets. Him
Yeah,
and Watson had and Kelsey obviously were the 3 leaders there, and then Sky Moore with 4.
yeah. I mean, and Sky had the most yardage.
Yeah.
So
Noah Gray's becoming a more consistent part of the passing attack,
mhm.
which is good.
Yeah. I mean, Sky Moore with that catch at the end, kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
what sealed it up right there. That was
Sky Moore was great today. Apps.
And that, that was encouraging from Sky Moore because that was a receiver other than Travis Kelsey knowing to like continue to run around after the play had broken down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get open.
Yeah, man, you're just there's a confidence that our offense doesn't have that it used to, and man, it just sucks. Like
It's just gonna look like that for a while.
yeah, it's as soon as we make a mistake or we go back, like we used to be able to I was texting about it like when it was second and like 22 or something, right? Like I used to feel like we could still pick this up. Like 2nd and 20 isn't impossible for us, you know? In fact, we may get it. It's not anymore though.
No,
Now,
that's
2nd and 22, like done. That this drive is over. Because there's no wide receiver that's going to be able to get the separation and like that far downfield and make these plays.
I
Maybe
get more
MVS
worried.
once in a while.
I get
picked
more
one
worried
up
on
last
3rd and
week.
long.
MVS once in a
Because
We
on
picked up
second,
a long one last week.
while. MVS once in a while.
because on 2nd down, I always trust that Travis Kelce is going to be there to get 10 to 12 of
I
those
just-
yards back.
Today
set
just
up.
didn't, man, it didn't feel like our offense could really get any sort of rhythm for sure.
No.
You know,
It did feel that way, and
there were
honestly, I'm going to say it's Matt Nagy.
there were a couple drives that were okay. Maybe I think it's just again with
Yeah, I
our
mean,
wide
maybe
receivers.
we really miss Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a voice like they even talked about like how Matt Nagy was talking to the team, telling them they need to be out there having fun, like doing all this sort of stuff. I'm like, Eric Bieniemy would have been talking about accountability.
Yeah,
He would have been talking about the things that you need ball control, accountability, stuff like that. That's the stuff that Eric Bieniemy did, and Eric Bieniemy wasn't the nice guy.
defense looked great. I know Chris Jones came back, immediate impact.
Yeah, it's almost like they should have.
Yeah, he had what, a sack and a half and a batted pass and like
Yeah.
4 or 5 pressures on top of it.
Probably should have signed him to a longer term deal than 1 year.
Well, you know, we'll see what happens in the offseason, right?
Oh, I can't wait. I bet it'll go smoothly.
If nothing else, we can tag him and at least get 1 more year out of him.
Oh
If
yeah,
we
I'm
really don't
sure
wanna trade him.
I'm sure he'll report happily to the franchise tag. I'm sure that there
What
will
do you
be no issues with him
Yeah,
showing up for that.
Chris, go ahead and hold out again.
I was
How'd that work
reading.
out
We
for you?
don't have the
How'd
cap
that-
space to
Let-
sign the
let's talk
franchise
about
tag
Chris
anyway.
Jones. Let's talk about Chris Jones' fail of a holdout.
We will.
Like Chris Jones, you held out to get the same amount of money you're going to get anyways, and the tag is still on your contract, so you held out for nothing. You essentially held out for absolutely nothing. Fire your agents. They're terrible.
They are
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, they aren't good.
They're terrible. You did
Hey, and
nothing.
talk about how our defense in the red zone kept the Prince, as Nick Wright likes to call him. He was what, 0-9 in the red zone?
Over
Oh,
3.
Yeah. And
Oh, for 3?
Yeah, they only got to the red zone 3 times.
No.
Well,
He was
Passing
his
attempts.
passing
Yeah.
attempts. He was 0 for
Oh,
9.
passing.
yeah, well, those guys kept going out of bounds too, so
Yeah.
that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
And
But
I
you're
mean,
also kind of throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, they were defended out of bounds though.
They were, yeah. Except for that last one. That
Yeah.
yeah, the
Where you
other
hit,
two were
where you hit the
defended
goalpost.
out of bounds. The one where
there-
it was the very end of the game where his toe was just like right on the line, or his foot was like half
The
and
defender
half.
was right there, like dude.
He was, but if he gets his foot down, if he's able to squeeze his foot in, like
He
an
also
inch
bobbled that ball. Like, that
over.
wasn't.
Oh yeah, he did kind of bobble that too. That's right.
I'm just
But
saying,
still,
like
he doesn't bobble that ball,
With
and he
all
gets
of
his
Oh,
foot.
okay.
Like I'm just saying, he catches the ball.
all of them
squarely.
we're obviously playing what if with all of them, those end zone ones, but I think all of them we've seen caught in the past. I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of them looked like the receivers' momentum took them out as well. Like they
Yeah,
were
That's
moving
what we're
fast.
lucky on.
We gave up 0 touchdowns today, guys.
We did.
Our defense was phenomenal. They played great. I'm not taking anything away, but I'm like, man, those receivers' field presence was not at a 10 today.
The receivers weren't.
Yeah, on a
the
sca-
quarterback was also throwing it out that far.
Yeah. On a scale of like Randy Moss to Dan Orlovsky, they were closer to Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, I mean, to 2 high-powered offenses, we've given up a total of 23 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one
You know-
thing I've been reminding myself of this game is being disappointed that we scored only 17 points, but also being like, this is a good Jacksonville team.
Yeah.
This is a team that won a playoff game, an incredible win in that playoffs, and they got a Super
Yeah.
Bowl winning coach.
It's a team whose strength is their offense.
And we held them to 9 points.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well,
it's
then
good we played them now.
the road gets a lot easier for us the next few games too.
Yeah, we got the Bears next week. Oh, thank God we got
Yeah.
the Bears next week.
Yeah,
We'll
the
see
Bears.
that.
Bears and then the Jets and then I think it's Broncos, Chargers, Broncos.
Don't
So-
say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, we
If
don't
we
want to
keep playing like this, we could easily lose all 4 of the next game.
Yeah, I mean, a mobile quarterback does worry me right now because
Sometimes.
that's yeah.
I'm
Sometimes.
not worried about that shit.
Yeah, we usually
We're gonna get
like,
home. I mean, we're
we
gonna
usually
fucking
handle Lamar Jackson when we've played him. So I'm not really worried about
Yeah,
it.
but we also had
Not with the way, not
receivers
the,
that
not
can
with the way
hold
our
the
D
ball.
line's playing. Like it's not just Chris Jones. The whole D line's playing really well.
yeah.
Yeah.
The linebacking
I was-
unit's playing great too. Leo Chanel has been
proud-
awesome.
Leo
was
Chanel has been
proud.
awesome.
I was proud of us covering that trick play that they tried to pull off there.
Leo Chanel.
where-
Yep.
Yeah,
Leo
Chanel
Chanel
stayed
has been
home.
awesome.
he stayed home with his guy. He did not let it get fooled
Yeah.
that just because the ball went the other way, and he took care of that shit.
Yeah, it was. Dude, I'm loving this unit, man.
I love our linebacking.
our linebacking core.
linebacking
Keep
core
them together.
Awesome.
You know
Like-
what? I'm all for team. Let Chris Jones walk. Keep the whole core together.
Should we move on? We've talked about the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
Yeah.
we've talked about the Chiefs a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't mention like with Taylor did have a rough day to the point where he did even get benched for a period.
And then he
And then
still
came back
in
and still
got
did
flagged.
the same shit.
Yeah, so that is something to keep an eye on. They went to Prince, Sneaky, what's his name?
Tego when I go home.
So that is that's a name to keep your an eye on because that could be huge. If
Yeah. Especially with the money we paid the guy.
if Taylor
There's no way like he's gonna lose a spot.
no but
Not that easily.
Yeah, I mean,
But
if
also
you
like
become a-
I mean it was only 2 plays. I didn't hate what I saw from Prince.
yeah,
if you-
exactly.
are this big of a liability and continue to be, you'll lose your job.
It was
Don't care how much you're paying.
what was weird was like literally like I think it was 2 plays after he came back in. I watched him and he was lined up real far up. It was on a run play. He was
Yeah.
like lined up where he was supposed to be and then literally didn't move until everybody else started moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
then he goes right back into what he was doing. I was like, why don't you just keep doing that? No.
'Cause
Well,
he-
on a
he can do
run
that for
play, that
plays.
could be designed for him to take a pause
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too.
to let something develop first.
Yeah.
And on run plays, you're supposed to be lined further up.
Listen, and this game was probably especially hard for him, being that it was against his former team, a team
I
that
guess.
practiced
I
against
mean,
him.
Oh yeah,
A
a team
lot
that
of-
knows him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's motivation though. Like,
Yeah,
some
but I
guys
mean-
can do better with that.
True.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, yeah.
We got Eagles Vikings.
Thursday night game.
EP. Your Eagles did all right.
They did. Looks like Gainwell's injury didn't hold us back. DeAndre Swift was incredible.
Yeah, he had a
Mhm.
great game.
Devonta Smith was incredible.
Mm-hmm. AJ Brown had a rough day, but Devonta,
Yeah, people are pointing out that there was a moment where AJ Brown was heated because he was not getting enough targets. And then after that, he got enough targets.
got a few.
There was an obvious missed pass interference call on AJ Brown in that game. You're just like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
even the announcers
got-
are like, they're like, I mean, you got
is
to
it?
tackle the dude in the end zone. But
Whatever. But
Hey, the
Yeah.
Lions could have used their first round draft pick on anybody else and just paid DeAndre Swift $2 million.
yeah.
But instead, they decided to draft DeAndre Swift 2.0.
Yeah, the Lions confuse me with a lot of their offseason moves.
always, constantly. It's the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one was DeAndre Swift. This is a career high though in rushing yards. He's
I
never
mean, 175. It's pretty
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
pretty
I
damn
mean, he
good.
looked great last week too. Like I think this is just what he's going to be doing in this offense.
Yeah, he's going to be a big part of this offense going forward. I don't know if he's going to quite get 28 touches again when Gainwell's healthy.
I mean, why not?
No, I feel
If
Gainwell
he
will
keeps doing
probably
this.
it'll probably be at least I think Swift is your main guy, but Gainwell is going to be your change of pace.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would expect next week AJ Brown to have a massive game. But I mean, really,
Yeah.
he had as
Yeah.
many catches and more targets than Devonta Smith.
The Vikings were kind of a mess again. I mean,
Yeah, the Vikings
Kurt did
still-
fine, but
They miss
just-
having a running game. Like,
they did. They
Yeah.
need one badly.
yeah.
Justin Jefferson has like 300 receiving yards and 0 touchdowns.
Jeez.
It's
On the year.
insane.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got other red zone targets. Hawkinson, right?
yeah.
Hawkinson had
the
two.
Two
big T
tutties.
tight end
Jordan
traded
Addison's
for last year.
Jordan Addison, the first round pick.
There's another bad move the Lions made.
Yeah, right. Why would you get rid of Hawkinson? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fucking morons. And in the division.
Hmm.
Because they didn't know how to use him.
Well, Vikings seem to figure it out.
Yeah, they figured that out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean the Vikings couldn't stop fumbling the ball too. Man, there's that sloppy point in the game where it's just like fumble, pick, fumble. Like it was a sloppy game there at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first quarter of this game was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But coming out with the win.
Well,
Felt
the Vikings had 4 lost fumbles.
yeah, the Vikings. Which is incredible. Like
4 lost fumbles.
Jesus. I didn't even put that
I didn't
together.
realize that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
yeah.
And not saying it's right or wrong, but this will be the last season of the tush push.
I don't know. We'll see.
Hmm.
People were pretty confident last year would be too.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that big of
Yeah, I don't think it'll be outlawed.
No, there's apparently a lot of like high-ranking people in the NFL who do not like that play.
Well, I think it'll be there. We'll see though. I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, primetime Kurt, it wasn't his fault they lost this game.
No, he actually
He
seemed
did
to play
lose the
pretty
one
well.
fumble. But he was again like he had no running game to lead.
Yeah,
He was
and on
their
that,
entire offense.
and on that, shame on people.
Oh, for the Mattinson stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
sending Mattinson death
yeah.
threats and calling him
Racist.
racist, derogatory terms.
What happened there?
Oh, people were sending Alexander Mattinson, the running back for the Vikings, death threats, calling him racial slurs.
They were shouting it on the field.
Yeah, because
What the
The fans at the stadium were shouting it.
yeah, the running back.
in Philly? This was in Philly.
Yeah, no, it was on. What I saw was all mentioned through messages, like on
Okay, yeah,
social
so-
media.
But
Oh,
I
I
think
heard there was
Philly
stuff
fans
happening at the game.
I mean,
Like,
I
I knew
would.
about that stuff too, but I'd heard that there was stuff at the game too.
I honestly would not doubt that. I'm
like, I mean, I'm used to Philly fans being assholes.
That Philly
but
fan those Philly fans were riled up. They were booing
They're-
their team. The
They're
first
usually not
quarter.
assholes to the guys fucking up on the other team. They're
Yeah.
usually pretty happy about that.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of it was fantasy football driven.
I
Like,
don't know,
people-
I could have heard that wrong too.
It was
he didn't do
prevalent
it.
enough that the Vikings put a statement out.
Yeah, about the social media attacks.
Good night.
Yeah, that's just
No.
despicable to.
It's a game,
Yeah.
people. Like, I get upset about it as well, but I'm not gonna like.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude, it's gross. It's just gross, dude. Like they're human beings.
You know?
Just trying to provide for their families above all else. And try to provide some entertainment for people.
Right.
That's all
like,
it
I
is.
get they make a lot of money. You don't need to feel bad for them, but you also don't need to.
Yeah, let's get into the Broncos commies game. Great game.
That ever started?
Uh,
Broncos commies. Commies had a great comeback. Down 21-3. And you think everything's going right for the Broncos. They're looking like that team that their fans all hoped that they could be. Russell's making some plays, had some deep shots that looked very good. Their defense was coming up big, and then just slowly it just fell apart for them. Like their offense started stalling out,
Yeah.
and the commies didn't. And
I was
what are
told
you gonna do? I'm sorry, Broncos. I'm not. That was great. It's fantastic to see.
I was told last year was a clown show coaching job, and things are going to be different this year.
Doesn't look much
That's
like
what
it. I mean, man, the commies didn't look like they could do anything offensively.
And for Sean Payton to lose a game on a blown PI call.
That is good. We're back around there, guy.
You fucking trash piece of shit.
God, I hate Sean fucking
Payton
Payton.
so much. I love
Dude,
seeing him
and
fail.
hey, at the end there, the refs were trying to get the Broncos to win that game. Like they was trying. They called a soft ass what
Gave
was
him a
it?
catch that was out of bounds.
Do what?
They gave him a catch that was out of bounds.
They gave him yes, they gave him catch that was out of bounds. They gave Russell Wilson a soft roughing the passer call on Chase Young when Chase just like barely like Russell had just thrown the ball. Chase barely pushes him and Russell goes to the ground, of course. I see it happen to Mahomes 5 times a game at least and never gets called. And they called this shit for Russell at the end of the game. And you're like, all right, whatever. They were trying to help out the Broncos, and the Broncos still couldn't pull it off. Like,
did you see that video last week of Quinnen Williams? He when they were playing the Bills, he just kind of like body taps Josh Allen, and their helmets kind of touch, and Josh Allen flops and tries to get a flag.
I didn't see that.
So good.
No, speaking of, it's not even the same topic. Did you guys see the thing where Myles Garrett was like crossing up like against the Bengals?
Yeah, you sent it
where
to
he
us.
was,
He's doing that, and then like in 2 seconds, he's at Joe Burrow.
that was cool. That was some baller shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Sam Howell looked nice. Sam Howell looks like
did
competent.
He did. He made some plays when they needed to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the reality is like that Denver defense still isn't a joke. Like that's a good defense that they carved up today.
Yeah, I mean he took care of the ball. I mean,
yeah, but I mean,
he did have a fumble, but he didn't lose the fumble.
Brian Robinson, though, as far as running back goes, pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, dude, he's
They
pretty
made some
good.
plays when needed to.
Pretty good. It'll be nice to see him not get paid in a few years.
I know, right?
Like gotta love that position.
No, Scary Terry made some plays. He actually showed up this week.
Yeah.
And look, Russell hasn't actually looked bad. Russell hasn't looked nearly as bad as he did last
No, he's looked competent.
He did have a couple turnovers.
He did have the fumble and the pick.
But he also threw for 300 yards, 3 TDs, and he's making some of those plays where he's rolling out of the pocket and hitting his guys.
He was sacked 7 times.
And then he's
7 times.
making 7 times. 7 times.
7 fucking times.
Yeah.
Didn't they spend like $200 million on their offensive line?
Their offensive line is trash. But Russell has made some vintage Russell plays, I will say, right? The deep shots downfield and the being able to escape out of the pocket and make some plays on the run.
Yeah, and thank God he can do that because otherwise he would fucking die behind this offensive line that they spent a lot of money on. Like, listen, we give the Bengals shit for their offensive line that they spend a lot of money on. Denver spent more on their offensive line this offseason than the Bengals.
You can't have that. I mean, look, Chase Young's good though. Like
he is. But he wasn't good enough for the Commanders to pick up his 5th-year option.
Why?
I mean, in their
walk away from that team.
And
we're going to need a pass rusher next year.
In the Commanders' defense, after he suffered the torn ACL, he has not really popped.
He looked disruptive today.
Yeah, I mean, which is a good sign for him. You hope that he can have that, but in their, I hate to say it, in their defense, like he hasn't been popping. He hasn't been getting to the quarterback.
He had a sack and a half today, another tackle for loss.
Yeah, that's the
And great ending to the game too, right? Like the Commies, you think are running away with it, and then Broncos, to their credit, they kick the three when they can. They stop them to get the ball back with like I don't know 40 some seconds left, like 48 seconds, something like that. No timeouts. Get to midfield. Hail Mary it again. Vintage Russell Wilson, right? How many times have we seen Russell hit that Hail Mary, right? A few times in his career.
yeah.
I mean,
And
you didn't exactly hit that helmet.
I mean, no, but the tip thing, the boop, 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 and
Hey,
then your guy gets it. Luck. Hey, look, sometimes you need a little luck. You need
whether it looks
literally
pretty or
counts
not,
for
it counts for 6.
yeah, it counts for.
I
like,
didn't even make it to the end zone.
and
Yeah.
then, well, close enough. Close enough. All right. He threw it further than I could. He got it closer to the end zone. And then they go for 2 to try to tie it up and just don't get it. The coverage was all over their guys. And then,
I was watching. I tuned into Perna's show for those last 2 plays.
ooh, how is he doing?
No, it was not good, man.
I'm gonna have to go back for it. Oh man.
Oh
it's
god.
still-
There's. You don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
He put up a clip on Twitter of like,
Hmm.
like when they hit the touchdown, he just out of
Yeah.
his chair, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking 2-point was just. Yeah, it
I
was.
mean, what a way to just get the Broncos fans' hopes up, just to crush them again. You know what I mean? Like after giving up such a huge lead, but then to miraculously hit that Hail Mary and then not do shit with it.
Seahawks, Lions.
Yeah, that was a nice close one. I mean, a lot of that game, Detroit was up,
Yeah,
right? It was
yeah,
still
they
like
were-
a 1-score game until the fourth quarter when the Seahawks got up by like 10, and the Lions are the ones who had to come back and tie it up, and they did. And then overtime happened, and
Yeah, because the Seahawks got up by 10,
Seahawks
which was the biggest lead of the game.
yeah. Seahawks got up by 10 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and the
seem
Lions
to
fought
be-
right back.
They finally caught up like that. They finally caught up to the Lions at the end there after being down like by a score most of the game.
Yep.
And then went up by 10, and then the Lions came back.
Yeah.
In overtime.
That Goff interception was his first interception in 383 attempts, which was 30 shy of Aaron Rodgers' record.
And
Yeah.
that kind of like, man, he didn't do that.
Pick
I don't know.
6.
He may have,
Yeah.
as a pick 6.
No.
You don't
Yep.
do that, and they may have won. If they could have done something on that drive.
I'm just glad that the Seahawks looked good again today because I was feeling kind of stupid picking them to win the West.
And I don't know how. I mean, they look pretty. Their offense was doing some things. It was.
Yeah,
Their defense. Besides that
Look
pick
at
6.
Gino shredded them in that defense today.
Yeah, Gino had a good game. 320 yards, a couple tutties.
I mean, they were able to get Jackson Smith involved, which I think was good. Yeah, their receiving core is insane, dude. Even down to their
It
tight
really
end.
is.
You got Noah Fant too.
Yeah.
Think about it. Noah Fant's good, dude. He's been a solid tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, DK.
Yeah, he was all right for them last year.
did
Yeah.
their thing.
And then the running backs, good God,
Oh
dude.
yeah,
this is
Kenneth Walker. Oh well, he didn't. I mean, he had an okay game. They fed him
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, but he had 2 touchdowns.
He had 2 touchdowns.
And then you also got that Zach Charbonnet,
Sure.
who's their 2nd-round pick, who's right now coming along slowly, but he's going to add a dynamic to him.
High hopes for him. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And the Lions, like you did your thing too, right?
Mhm.
Amon Ra had a good game. Whoever this Josh Reynolds guy is, apparently had a couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
You
he's gonna
just
pop.
you Lions it, I guess.
Yeah, once again, the defense let you down.
Sure did. Sure did. Well, you played a team where the wide receivers could catch. So
Yeah.
They also lost 2 fumbles.
that does hurt.
Yeah. What do you think? You're the Chiefs? Think you can get away with that shit?
They did, yeah, they did have a couple ugly fumbles. They had the one where Goff made a beautiful pass down the sideline. Their dude catches it, and holds on to it just long enough for it to be a catch, and then it just gets knocked out of his hands. And like that was like a 50-yard play, or it should have been, that went the other way. But yeah. No. No. So that was that game. Seahawks just pulling out an OT.
Love it though. You like seeing that bounce back.
You
Sucks for
do,
the
like,
Lions though, because the team that kept them out of the playoffs last year was
Yeah.
the Seahawks.
was the Seahawks, and they couldn't get the revenge. And Lions, you're 1-1 now. You don't know what to think of your team. I get it. It's the Lions.
Bengals and Ravens.
Ooh, Bengals and Ravens. Man, the Bengals started out super slow again.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow didn't really have it in the first half, but figured it out in the second half. They looked all right. I mean, he looked a lot better than he did in the first half and last week. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
finally kind of looked like, Joe Burrow again.
T.
T.
Higgins
Higgins,
was able to
right?
get going.
Had a
Tyler
nice
Boyd.
game. Not sure what's going on with Jamar Chase. That's a concern. That
Yeah.
needs
He's
to be-
probably stopped running his fucking mouth every week.
It's
Starts
probably
to-
because I drafted him very highly in fantasy
Mhm.
and multiple leagues. So
He's Boyd
think-
Nelson Aguilar had a great game.
That'll do it.
Just kidding. Not
good
a
for.
great
I mean,
game.
yeah, good for Nelson. I've never hated the guy.
I know. I'm just giving you
He was a
shit.
part of our Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah, Nelson, why not?
Yeah.
Zay Flowers looking all right as well.
He must be signed to a 1-year deal though, because that's when Nelson normally does really
He
well.
does it. He knows he got to get paid.
Yeah, that
Um,
respect.
And Lamar played out of his mind today. He was making some made some decent throws, but he's definitely making those plays where he's escaping sacks, right? Picking
Yeah.
up first downs with his legs. Hitting some. I mean, he had the one. Shoot, I mean, he had a couple nice throws.
Oh yeah, and
uh,
Lamar.
Trying to think of the exact one.
I feel like the thing with Lamar is always going to come down to is can he stay healthy? I think
Yeah.
he's all the talent's always there, and he's always putting on the show. It's like, yeah, dude, can you stay healthy? The last 2 years you haven't, and that's been worrisome.
It's been bad for your team.
Yeah.
But hey,
The
look great.
the only team that's gone 0-2 since they added a game. Well, I think actually it was like the last 15 years or something that I was reading. That's gone 0-2 and still made the playoffs. It was the Bengals
Yeah.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Bengals started off this bad last year. So there for the Bengals fans, you got some
Yeah. Joe
Burrows
Burrow's
And-
there.
They're getting.
Know
I
that.
yeah.
mean,
Also
they're going in the right direction, obviously.
Yeah. And Joe Burrow's never won a week 1 game.
Just doesn't do it.
He's like, it's part
Or
of
a Super Bowl.
preseason.
Got him.
Got him.
I don't know. The Bengals have got to figure out their offense. Like, it really looks broken right now.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about us,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
but we're not
Right.
0-2 and we're getting in the end zone.
And
Our-
our quarterback wasn't benched.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Our one loss was by a point, not getting blown out.
I mean, our quarterback's also not coming off of a training camp injury in a rainy
Yeah, and
day.
apparently he re-injured that today.
But on the other side, you got to think about how one quarterback has two number 1 wide receivers and a number 2
Mhm.
wide receiver.
Well, hey, yeah, he's got too much talent around him to be doing
And he's
that.
also got a high school level offensive line blocking for him.
Well, I mean, there's that. There's
Doesn't have
that.
any- Hey, we'll see him. Hey, we'll see him in action next week on primetime, baby. They're the Monday night game against the Rams
Yep.
next week.
Ooh,
Ooh, Super Bowl rematch.
People rematch.
Like that.
I like
Let's see
that.
if they
The,
get their
the
revenge.
Bengals are going to be fine, though. Honestly,
I think they are too. I think they're gonna beat a playoff team. It's hard to predict who's going to win that division. I
They-
won't say it's going to be them because I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to be them at the beginning.
I
mean-
don't think any team has ever started at 0-3 and made the playoffs.
That's not true. There have been teams
If there has been teams to do it, it's a very low percentage though.
very,
Right.
very low.
It
But
is
after, hey, even if they do start out 0-3, they then get the Titans and the Cardinals immediately after that.
Yeah,
So,
I want to say there has been
Sounds
one
good.
Chiefs team to do it.
you know,
Yeah.
So you'd be all right there, Bengals, I'm sure.
Bengals will be fine. I mean, they showed signs of improvement, like you guys were saying.
But
Joe
their schedule
Mixon.
isn't the easiest schedule. After that, Tennessee and Arizona, then it's Seattle, San Fran, Buffalo. Ouch. But then Houston, but then Baltimore again.
Yeah.
And then the Steelers, who are bad, right? I think we'll find out tomorrow if they really are.
We're talking about Cincy's.
Yeah, since he's scheduled. Hey, I just got to point this out. At some point today, when the Giants and the Broncos or when the Commanders were losing, Nick Wright took a 2-leg parlay and bet on both of them to win. Put $500 down. It paid $21,000.
Jesus fucking
Easy.
Christ.
He's going to be going off about that.
Please legalize gambling in Missouri.
He fucking wins shit like that all the time. He posted like, "Take this. This is a good money line," and everyone's like, "No, it's not." So he gets to fucking roll that over everybody's head tomorrow.
God damn,
God
dude.
damn it, dude. Like if gambling was legal in Missouri, I'd be rich right now because I would have made that Jaguars bet against the Chargers in the playoffs last year. Ugh.
Yeah, when I worked in Kansas, it got a little bad. Like I was like, "Oh, I should put money on this. Oh, I should put money on it." I didn't
develop a
ever
small
really
gambling
spend very much, but like I was like, "Ooh, I should really put money on it. Oh, I should really do this."
Yeah. I mean, a much more interesting game was the Packers and Falcons because it looked like the Packers were in control of that game most of the time.
Yeah, every time I checked the score on that one, I was like, "Oh, Packers are going to win this game."
Packers got that, and then the Falcons actually came back with a couple late field goal drives when they were down by 5. Got them both, and
My man, that Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, man, dude, watch out, man. Bijan Robinson is crazy good. Like,
Yeah.
hard to tackle that guy. And with the other guy's name I can't pronounce, right?
Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Algier.
Yep.
Allegretti. No.
Allegretti. That's a good combo. It's a good combo back
It
there,
is.
but
And Desmond Ritter seems to have a little bit of mobility.
Desmond Ritter can make some plays, right? And I get he's getting helped out by his running game, which is good. Like, you want to do
Yeah,
that for a
quarterback.
young
That's
guy.
what you want to do.
That's exactly what you want to do. The Falcons executed their game plan perfectly on offense. And I mean, dude, Jordan Love looked decent as well. Didn't get many yards. Got some.
Yeah, he got.
He looked fine. He wasn't doing anything.
He looked
I'm not-
fine for a guy that didn't have much support from his running game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
he was their second leading rusher at 23 yards.
I mean, yeah, AJ Dillon.
Atlanta
Where-
only had
was Aaron
5
Jones hurt?
receivers with
Yeah,
reception.
Aaron
Yeah,
Jones
Aaron
missed
Jones was
today.
hurt.
That's it.
Yeah,
There you go. So Packers, don't fret too much. You get Aaron
yeah.
Jones back.
I think Jordan Love looked good today.
He
It's
did.
just he didn't look
Fine.
great, but
They're just not letting him do a ton. Like he only averaged like 6 yards a throw.
yeah, 6
Yeah.
yards in the air.
But I mean,
He
for a
threw for
while,
three touchdowns, but he was like 14 of 25 for 151.
it was. I mean, it was working for the most part. He only had
That's
6.
a very Jimmy Garoppolo stat line.
Yeah.
Like a Jimmy Garoppolo good day.
Man, that's
see.
crazy to me. The Falcons only had 5 receivers with receptions today.
Yeah,
yeah.
And Kyle Pitts only had 2.
But Drake London, man, that dude is the real deal. I think.
Drake London, Mac Hollins is filling a role for him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I can't wait to see the highlight reel of Kyle Pitts being wide open again,
Yeah.
not being thrown to.
Dude, what?
Hello,
that?
darkness.
Dude, it's fucking
is
insane,
open.
man.
You
And then
gotta
you
start
throw,
targeting.
and you
the-
throw to him, and he makes bananas catches.
Yeah. You got to start targeting that guy.
You know they like
Eventually.
throwing to tight ends. Jonnu Smith had 4 receptions for 47 yards on 6 targets.
So you're doing it. Just do it the other
mean,
way.
They gave.
Here's the other
I mean,
guy.
Kyle Pitts did have 5 targets today.
2 receptions on 5 targets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing how the top.
I mean, I'd like to see those balls.
I would too. I would like to see whose end it's on, but I mean, it's showing 5
Was
targets.
it a throwaway at his feet? You know?
Yeah, or was it throwaway over his head out of bounds, and he's the closest receiver?
Was it one of Desmond Ritter's interceptions?
Yeah.
Yeah. He only had the one.
Or was it?
But Desmond, he
I do not like Desmond Ritter throwing the ball.
he
at
can
all.
make some plays.
Yeah.
I saw him makes he can make. He's
Hey,
athletic.
But
and
you know
can
what,
make
Sneaky? I bet you like seeing him throw the football more than Marcus Mariota.
Yes,
So the Falcons made a good decision.
I,
plays.
I suppose so.
There's potential for Desmond Ritter to get better, not Marcus Mariota.
I guess so.
Yeah. Packers. I don't know what you was doing today. But you kind of
Just free Kyle Pitts, please. Free Kyle.
you trickled at the you stalled out. The Packers just stalled out at the end. They couldn't do shit in the fourth quarter. They didn't. Falcons, good job. Your defense holding there. You know.
Yeah.
Oh wow. The Falcons had 78 plays to the Packers 47. There's something. The
Yeah.
Falcons had 446 yards to the Packers 224. What? How did you only win this by 1 point, Falcons? Like they also dominated time of possession with 36 minutes to 23. Like the Falcons should have easily won this game. Actually, if you look at the stat line,
Yeah. But
didn't happen though.
Yeah, Jordan Love still hasn't gotten to play with Christian Watson either.
true.
Can't wait
That
for
is
that.
very true.
Yeah.
But I think we did it, guys. I think we
you're
did
right.
it. But as always,
Oh, we didn't talk about injuries.
we didn't. But we kind of filled them in.
We kind
There
of
were some
did.
injuries
Aaron
today.
Rodgers got hurt. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
But,
now. The
yeah.
Jets suck again.
Yeah.
No,
As
no.
always, thanks for
Has
watching.
anybody talked about that yet?
Right.
Like, comment, share the video.
We'll be back next week to talk about every game, but the Monday night one again. All right.
We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers next week.
He's saying he's going to be back
Yeah, he said he might be back.
because he's using some.